Before we begin, I would like to introduce our esteemed panel members that we have today. We have the pleasure of having Mr. Amr Zehra, Corporate IT Director, as Industries Group. Welcome, Amr.
Welcome, thank you.
We also have the pleasure of having Mr. Mohamed Fathy, CIO at EFG Hermes. Welcome, Mohamed.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us for this discussion. And I must tell you, we are going to have a very interesting panel discussion because on one side, we have the CIO or the corporate IT director of an asset-intensive manufacturing organization. On the other side, we have the CIO of non-banking financial corporation, which is into professional services. So let me begin this panel discussion by asking you, Amr, about the situation that we have at hand these days. We all know, it's an unprecedented situation, okay? And while many organizations claim to have business continuity plans, but but as many organizations IDC has spoken, none of them actually prepared for this kind of pandemic. How's the situation at your end? Because you lead IT for a manufacturing company, and you have very high dependence on the supply side, the goods as well as the workforce coming to the shop floor and producing goods for you. So how has been the impact both from material as well as on the workforce side?
Yes, the pandemic actually affected the business, affected us like all the other organizations worldwide, and that was we were not prepared for this actually, like the rest of the world. But yes, the supply chain was one area which was very much affected because the stoppage of all the freights, the flights, airlines, all the imports were almost stopped. Spare parts of the machines, raw materials. This very much affected, of course, the production of our products, or the production lines. Yes, this negatively affected us, but on the other hand, also the demand dropped. So this made like a balance between the supply and demand at that time.
Because you are into manufacturing industry, and obviously manufacturing has been one of the early adopters of technology, whether it is for the ERP implementations or the EDP. Earlier those days in 25-30 years ago, it used to be called as enterprise data processing. And but then how this emerging technologies are being used, because you might have led a lot of technology led initiatives within your company, isn't it? So have you been using artificial intelligence, RPA, for your key financial metrics as well as the operational metrics, like improving operational efficiency or improving productivity or the overall profitability?
We are going into RPA now in some areas like purchasing and financial processes. The artificial intelligence is no, we are still haven't come to this stage yet in our manufacturers and in our plants and our business. But we started to start with with RPA and with, of course, ERP. We are using the Oracle ERP. So we started to use RPA on the top of Oracle. In some modules, as I said, like procurement and finance. Yes, this I think with the PCOs, with the POCs that we made, it gave us very good and exciting results.
Thank you. So let me bring Mohammed now in the discussion. So Mohammed, thank you again for joining this discussion. Tell us more about EFG Hermes and how you are using emerging technologies at EFG Hermes.
EFG Hermes Holding is a pioneer in the financial service space across MENA region and frontier emerging market. Our headquarters is based in Egypt. The company has expanded into UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Nigeria, Pakistan, Kenya, Jordan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, US, and also in the UK market. The company offers a wide suite of products catering retail, institution, and corporate clients as well. Through both arms of the company, through the investment banking and the non-banking financial platform. So we can say that EFG Hermes Holding has two main arms. One of them is traditional investment banking, and the other one is newcomer EFG Hermes Finance. The IB platform offers brokerage, research, investment banking, asset management, private equity, debt and equity underwriting service. And I think by end of 2014 and early 2015, we launched our MFI platform, which is currently overlooking activities in the non-banking finance field through EFG Hermes Leasing, Tanmeya, Microfinance, Value for Installment Sale and Services, EFG Hermes Factoring, Insurance through Tokyo Marine, and EFG Hermes Mortgage Finance through Bidaya. Recently, in April 2020, this year, we entered a very important strategic partnership with Baytax. Baytax is an award-winning global fintech solution provider. And out of this strategic partnership, we launched Baytax Egypt to empower the cashless payment and to support the financial inclusion in Egypt. Definitely, like many other financial institutions, we use RPA and AI in our daily operation, which allows us to run a repetitive process like Mr. Amr mentioned, data entry, customer service, doing it in more accurate and effective way. And it enabled us to reduce some costs, save some time, and the most important aspect of using RPA and artificial intelligence is to eliminate the manual errors, mistakes that could be happening. So in the same time, using RPA and AI, let us give more time to our employees to focus more on the high value-added activities and in the innovations as well.
Interesting. Thank you for that. I'll come to you on that. But before that, if you could tell us more about, any experience of implementing RPA and wherein your employees came back and telling you that, they are able to spare more time, or they have spare time to do quality things now, or, this has helped improve customer satisfaction. Are there any examples that you want to share with us?
Yeah, sure. We have a lot of examples here in EFG. Nowadays, in the digital transformation era, I think almost every industry, including the financial sector, were disrupted by emerging technologies. Those emerging technologies transformed the way we do business in our day-to-day operation and in how we engaging our customer and how we optimize our operation and empower our employee as well. It's well known that there are four enablers for this transformation. First one is a cloud, big data, RPA, and we can say that artificial intelligence come late. And yes, it's have a major change, and it's a game changer in the technology industry. We use RPA and AI in loan processing and validation. We start extracting relevant information from the documents submitted by our customer, combining this information with internal and external to prepare the necessary material for the loan decision. Then we're using machine learning and AI to make automatic decision if we will go to give this credit to our customer or not, based on the available data. Also, we respond to our customers through a conversational artificial intelligence system, chatbot, which make us available to our customer 24/7, giving them the ability to complete the requests automatically whenever and wherever they like, after midnight, at any time, wherever they are. And if the requests are not fulfilled and cleared, then they will be automatically routed to a human for resolution. Also, we are using RPA to compare data from multiple systems to ensure accuracy and to identify any discrepancies that could be happen. And we are using RPA, OCR technology as well to automate the processing of paper-based form. And we have planned to use more RPA's use cases scenario and AI in the next year.
Interesting. Thank you. Thanks, Mohammed. I think these were some of the use cases pretty useful to the customers, because on one side, you have customers who are basically asking for immediate satisfaction of their needs or queries. On the other side, there is a limitation of a number of people. So using RPA, obviously, or even conversational chatbots that you have, a conversational AI, to a very large extent, we are able to solve or address the frequently asked questions. And if there is an exception, or if a particular question requires intervention of a human, only then I think the ticket gets transferred to to a human. So again, this is an important conversation, because look at the customer side. If suppose there is a non-banking, your customer who has some kind of investment query or any query on his portfolio, he would definitely want to have that information instantaneously. And if it is 9 o'clock in the night, obviously, he has to wait for 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning for the office to open, and then a person to come and then check in the system and then come back. But whereas if his query is a typical query on his statement or his credit or debit or something like that, or any of the the asset or any stock that he has bought or stock that he has sold, or any particular plan that he might have gone ahead with, then simply that information through a chatbot or through a RPA enabled system can be provided. And look at the amount of time all of us and the cost everyone saves.
Yes, yes, yeah, you are totally right. Yeah, you can imagine that in the last 3 months, we got some statistics from our call center. We found that 70% from the calls we received from our customer were related to inquiries. All of these calls now being handled using AI chatbot.
Let me go back to Mohammed now. Mohammed, you talked about RPA and conversational AI chatbot initially to my previous question. But then you might have heard about this low code and no code application development platforms also. And many companies are actually adopting these low code application development platforms. This is again an emerging area. And this becomes all the more relevant now, because on one side you have the traditional application development platform, which have to go through the entire software development life cycle, wherein you develop the application, you go to the testing, and you put it onto the development or the testing staging area, and then once everything is done, you actually put it onto production. But gone are the days actually now, and then even the low code, no code application development platforms are enabling the business users to, try their hands on on coding. How's your experience? Have your business users explored low code, no code application development platforms?
Actually, my direct answer is no, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But let me tell you that strategically it is impossible to achieve our business objective without a full collection of enterprise application to support the internal functions. By giving the right tools to our employee, this will help them a lot to extract the most value from the data we have, improve process efficiency, and reduce the manual work. and increase
Okay.
overall speed. Unfortunately, we didn't implement low code, no code yet in our organization. EFG Hermes, like many other international organizations, face challenge when it comes to software development lifecycle. I think we can categorize these challenges or we cascaded it down to
Exactly.
4 obstacles. First one is IT developers always don't have the capacity to keep up with the internal demand for our business stakeholder. We always have a large backlog from the features that business are always seeking to be implemented in our system, and we always being constrained by time and resource.
Absolutely.
Yeah, also modernizing the outdated system and untangling them from business processes and replacing them with agile digital system is very disruptive and expensive in same time. Also, the non-technical business users lack the knowledge of and the experience required to build the code-intensive apps they require for their daily operation. And I can say that here in EFG, we have a very good, effective DevOps in place. Development itself is often slow because it's complexity. So we can summarize that our main challenge here is to maximize developer productivity to support the rising demand of enterprise applications. By introducing low code and no code mechanism or platform next year, I think we can cater all of the above challenges and obstacles. For
Correct.
developers, low code capabilities will enable them to work faster and more efficiently. For non-developers, philosophy or standard, no-code tool will empower our employee to build, modify, and use enterprise apps that fulfill emerging needs almost as soon as the need arises. So low-code, no-code software will definitely enable EFG Hermes to face emerging needs with speed and agility, and it will help us to solve the current problems that we are already have, and it will help us to develop a mature digital ecosystem to gain a competitive advantage. So low code, no code is one of our priority when we are planning to IT strategy in 2021.
Interesting. Interesting. So, I mean, this is important for the listeners. But then beyond, you mentioned about conversational AI, as well as the RPA, and where you achieved 70% of operational efficiency, and now this low code and no code application development platforms, where you realize the business value it can bring to your organization. What is your advice to the new adopters, as well as the participants who are listening to us now?
I think before I give advice to our listener, I have a request maybe from the Egyptian decision maker, Dr. Amr Talaat. I think he's attending the conference. Dr. Amr Talaat is the Minister of Communications and Information Technology. I would like him to invite all the cloud provider giants in the market to open their data centers here in Egypt. We can name it Amazon, Microsoft, Google, IBM. So I would like him to invite all of these cloud providers to open their data center here in Egypt. And I think now in Egypt, we have a perfect infrastructure that will support such initiatives. By having these big data centers for those cloud providers in Egypt, I think a lot of companies will start thinking to move into cloud without having any concerns regarding the most important topic we have nowadays, which is data privacy.
Yeah.
So this will definitely expedite the firm journey into the cloud, enjoying being more agile, scale as you go in no time, and saving some cost. So I really recommend that we can have them in place very soon. If I may advise my colleague, my peer, and my team as well, I think I can advise them to gain a better understanding of not just the new digital technology and how it could effectively operate them, but also to better understand the specific business their enterprises is in, and how to make IT department drive new revenue opportunities and accelerate their company's growth. I think today's CIO must sharpen their business skills and build a relation with CEOs, managing directors, and all of business stakeholders in their firms. And they need to collaborate as a strategic partner, not as a support function.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they need also to focus on their management, change management skills, because nowadays technology itself, nowadays any CIO maybe wearing multiple hats: hat of being a business strategist and hat being changing enablers. And there is a common mistake I see it happens every day, is to get distracted by innovation, and the new technologies itself. So I advise them to not get distracted by the innovation and not get distracted by technology itself. It's very critical to make sure that your focus is aligned with business objectives, along with the proper business matrix to manage the progress and the impacts as well. Lastly, I need to advise everyone starting his digital transformation to have cybersecurity, information security on the top of his plan, because by considering cybersecurity at the earliest stage of digital transformation, it will positively affect the firm digital maturity along the journey itself. Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely agree. See, you summarized it so well, Mohammed, actually, and thank you for that, because you have literally concluded the conversation when you said about digital transformation and the role of CIOs and the IT directors have now got elevated from a support function to one of the important chairs in the board conversation, where you're contributing to the operational as well as the financial matrix of an organization. So that way digital transformation is in everybody's responsibility. It's not about IT only enabling it and finance is driving it and something like that. Of course it is outcome driven. You have to ensure that you have your business objectives and business outcomes in front of you before you choose technologies or check. Choice of technologies obviously is important, but it should not really preside over the objectives, the business objectives that you want to achieve through those technologies. So thank you very much for that. This is really insightful, and I would like to thank Mr. Amar Zahra also, because he touched upon some of the very important aspects of emerging technologies and especially RPA and IoT and artificial intelligence in manufacturing organizations. Because yeah,
Harish, I just want to add something I support very much, and I thank Mr. Mohamed Fathy for what he mentioned about the initiative or the of hosting big data centers or international clouds here in Egypt. This this initiative, I think, I spoke to one of the big providers in Egypt to do that. But of course, at that time, that was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But maybe at that time, we or the government was not prepared enough to host or to take this initiative. I think now this is a good time to think again about let's say encouraging big cloud providers to have their centers here in Egypt. I think this will contribute very much to the development plans and the development initiatives that are in place now in Egypt. And the digital transformation big initiative that is being that is taking place now in the organizations in Egypt. So thank you for this
yeah, thank you.
for saying this and for mentioning that nice initiative.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Amr.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was a pleasure having you. And as I said earlier, you touched upon some of the very important aspects in manufacturing organization. Amr, thanks a lot for that. And thank you, Mohammed, again for highlighting the business benefits that you have achieved in professional services organizations by using emerging technologies. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.